Hi everyone, this is Rookie Crochet and my name is Alex. How is everybody doing? So this video tonight is all about my experience at Yarncon. Second year I've been. For those of you who don't know, Yarncon is a yarn fair in Chicago. All small makers, hand-dyed, amazing yarns. Also some places that do needles, hooks, spinners, yarn bags, even some like sort of jewelry makers, fibers, anything kind of yarn related that's a small maker. That's what Yarncon's about. It was started by two lovely ladies, I think 2015. I will post a link to the website for Yarncon. It happens every year, except obviously COVID years. And these two wonderful ladies have organised it every one of those years, sometimes with a little bit of help from one of their moms. And it's just amazing. So firstly, thank you to them for doing it. It also has a ton of volunteers who help it all run, so thank you to them, and also all the stall holders. If you've never been to one of these things and you're worried about going, because when I'd only been crocheting for a couple of months, sorry about the coughing, this is my little old man dog in the background. This is Griffin. Griffin's almost 13 and camera shy. He has what we call an old man cough. They start to get like a little bit of a, can get a little bit of collapsed trachea. He was a rescue, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering. Yeah, pugs come with health problems. But apart from that cough, which sounds terrible, he's on medication for it. He's just taking his medication for the night. Sorry, this is supposed to be at Yarncon. I'm talking about pug. He's on medication for it. It will calm down a little bit. Poor little dude. He's just having a coughing fit. You all done? Maybe I'll edit this out. Probably won't. So, yeah, all the stall holders who turned up with all their amazing yarns. I know it's an absolute ton of work to go and do events like this. Not quite like this, but I have done events as a chef, loading out, loading in, the long hours that are involved. So thank you so much. I had a blast. But yeah, if you've not been to one before, it is very, very friendly. Everybody there is a maker, a yarn enthusiast. The stall holder is very happy to speak to you. They know that not everybody can buy everything from the stall, but you might make a customer in the long term. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that when I go into some of the yarns I bought. Now, I posted a picture earlier in this week. I'll do an update over here so you can see the yarns, and hopefully I cover everything. And I'm not going to have to go back in and edit a yarn in. I think I've got them all out because I organised my yarn stash. I really do have a problem. Stash is kind of, I'm a yarn dragon. I have a hoard. It's getting quite bad. So no more new yarns for a little while. Although I do have to make a baby blanket and I do not have the yarns for it. So I need to buy some yarn very soon. Anyway, getting totally sidetracked. So Yarncon was very, very friendly. I was scared to go when I'd only been crocheting a couple of months, but I went for the first time last year. I had a budget in mind. That went straight out the window. You can actually watch my video from last year. This time I did a little bit better. I did set myself a higher budget, but I was shopping specifically for a couple of projects. Wanted to buy yarn from a couple of places, and so I kind of did much better. I did buy a few randoms, but I was much more controlled and came back with probably about the same amount of yarn last year, but with a little bit of a clearer direction rather than just buying like random skeins from all these different places, most of which still haven't been worked into anything, if I'm honest. But hopefully that's going to change. That's going to come up in another video where I have to talk a little bit about my addiction. But anyway, we've sidetracked way too much. We're going to look at some of this yarn. And I don't know whether I'm going to do it in order, but I am going to start off with the first yarn I bought. And this, have I got the wrong light on completely? Probably. It's a little too bright. My pug's asking for pets. So this is from Dietrich's Alpaca Ranch. Now let me tell you a little bit about, this was one of the first stalls I went to. In fact, actually the first stall. I was desperate to get some alpaca. Now the mistake I feel I made this year was going on day 2. I didn't take the time off work. I should have gone on day 1. No, none of these are improving it. If I decrease intensity a little bit, there you go. So you can see the sparkle in here. Now they're a ranch in Illinois. People were very friendly, and they didn't have a ton of their yarn left. But this was one I really, really gelled with. It is just, I don't believe they dye their yarns. This is like just fresh from the alpaca. The only thing they've done with this is spun it with a little bit of stellina. They've just described it as silver bling. And this is from one specific alpaca called Goliath. This was $25 a skein, which seems super cheap. It is worsted weight, and it is 200 yards. So probably like basically 100-gram skeins. It is very soft. It's got a little bit of an itch to it. I found alpaca to be a little bit softer. The itch might be coming from stellina, but it is not itchy. I wish, you know, I had to be a little controlled. I don't really have a plan for this. Maybe like a little scarf or cowl for winter. I also found out, so alpacas are kind of a little bit of a new obsession, and llamas, because I'm starting to love their wool. And I did meet a llama last year, and me and him made friends at a farm. Not just, yeah, he was at a petting zoo. He was great. So I think I'm going to make myself a little scarf for this. There is no pattern planned just yet. It's probably going to be a short one or a little cowl. But this is super exciting. It is very, very warm, very soft. I haven't actually smelled this. Well, alpaca smells nice, or whatever they do to the wool. And this is just something I really, really wanted. And it's this beautiful natural color. And I'm super excited to do something with this. So although I didn't have a plan, I just really wanted some alpaca wool. And I got what I wanted. What I would have really liked is I saw on their website they had some that was like black and white spun together. But they were either out of it or maybe hadn't brought it. This will do. I'm very happy. So that's round 1. Next, what did I do next? So I was specifically, actually, I'm going to show you what I got at the end, but I was specifically shopping for some yarn for a scarf for my mom, and I'd looked it up, and for whatever reason, I thought it was a sport weight, because annoyingly, they'd recommended just one specific yarn for this, or one brand, and like the 3 yarns from their collection, but hadn't specified the weight. So I'd looked up the weight. I was convinced it was sport weight. Was not a lot of sport weight yarn at the event, so I was kind of like, oh no. And especially because the place I wanted to get the sport weight yarn from, and I had my colors picked out, which is where I eventually went, they only had fingering or DK. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to order it online, but ended up not doing that. What was the next yarn I bought? All right, the next yarn was actually a mystery bag, and mystery bags are like a red rag to a bull to me. You know this. It was from M1 Yarns. The people were very nice. They had some great colors, and they had these mystery bags hanging out. And it was $30, so $31 something with tax or whatever. And it was in this really, I already unboxed it. My husband encouraged me. I was going to do it on camera, but how could I have waited a week? So it was in this brown paper bag with stars all over, and they had a couple of others in colored bags. And I actually spoke to the lady who ran it, and she's like, I just don't get it, but like these have been selling like crazy. She's like, I don't like the mystery, but hey. And I'm like, oh, I find that like even if I don't like the colors, oh, it's not a color I like, I just love the surprise of it. What I got in that bag was truly amazing. And these are colors I would definitely go for. You ready? Aren't they gorgeous? So let's do this one first. This one is just ridiculously beautiful. There are pinks, there are oranges. It is super autumnal. There are brown tones, maybe some slightly olive tones, a little bit of white, pale pink, purple. Oh, this is just going to knit up so gorgeously. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I might actually try making a pair of socks out of it. I think some socks in this would be cool, but it'll be almost a shame to hide this as socks. So we'll see. But it is, I was like over the moon to see this. Like, I feel like mystery bags are more the colors people don't want. Was this I just strange and this is like one of those colors? I don't know. But it is everything I want. Oh my God, look at this section here. This section is just so gorgeous. It's like flames. So beautiful. Anyway, so that was the first one. Second one is just, it's just like me. It is this fabulous purple and black. Call it wine, definitely a wine looking one. Oh, I haven't given you any of the stats on this. This one's 80% merino, 20% nylon. And it is so soft, so beautiful. Oh, this one's called Curling Desert. Both Lean Mean Machine. I don't know why this one feels softer than this one. I've recently followed or found, I think it's like called Goth Knits or something. I'll post the video link down below. But really interesting person who talks about crochet. They're more of a knitter. But they posted where they'd found like all these one skein shawl patterns. And I think this is going to be a perfect one skein shawl. So that's definitely what this is going for. Although I've got so many projects on the hook, it may be waiting a while. But hopefully not too long because I love it. So M1 yarns. I will post all the companies below and post a link to Yarncon, and hopefully they've still got the yarn stores that were there up, and you can hopefully maybe have a look at a few. I'd really suggest it because I fell in love with every stall. I don't think there was one stall that I wouldn't really have been like, oh, I would totally buy that yarn if I had an infinite fund. But yes, M1 yarns. What was next? Oh, so I haven't actually looked this company up much. I did go through like basically everybody who was listed as a vendor at Yarncon and like kind of browse their websites. But Northern Bee was kind of a new one to me, as was M1. And I was looking for like the sporty yarns. They had a few. They weren't quite the colors I wanted, but I was trying to like maybe see if I could get something to work. And while I was at the store looking at my mom's pattern, it turned out that I didn't need sport weight. I needed fingering. So yes, back to the stall that I had originally thought I'm going to get these yarns from. So these are both sturdy sock. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 260 yards, 100 grams. And these two were sitting on a shelf next to each other, and they're so freaking gorgeous. And I love this green going with white and purple. And the purple color is called Crocus. This one doesn't actually have a color written on it. Don't care. But clearly, if you see them together, they're meant to go together. I love like the green and the white going into the purple. So I've got to find a pattern that is two skeins for these two to go together. I am absolutely in love. Maybe a cool shawl or something. I am not entirely sure. Maybe I can find like a little wrap or something. But I just fell in love with these colors. Not only are they very much like crocuses, that I can imagine that dark green going into the beautiful crocus flower, but also International Women's colors, green, white, and purple. So just really special. They were just so beautiful. You can see there's a lot of tonality to this crocus in the purples that I love. In fact, as I start to collect yarns, you go to the different stores, they're like, oh, well, let me have a look in your bag. And you just like, oh, I can tell what color you like. I was also with my purple Della Q bag, my purple hair as it currently stands. I've not always been this purpley. It's just starting to happen. But yes, these are absolutely gorgeous. The yarn was beautiful, and I was so excited to get these two. And the lady was like, are these two going to go together by any chance? I'm like, yes, because they're so gorgeous. And, you know, she dyed them. She knew. And I'm so happy to get them. Like, I have no idea what I'm making out of these, but they're too beautiful not to buy. So they made me happy. They're another one of my randoms. In fact, all I've done so far is randoms, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, now I think about it, a lot of these are random. But okay, what am I going to go to next? Next one, Oink Pigments. Now, I went to their store last year. I browsed their website a lot. I've not bought more yarn from them, but I want to because it's gorgeous. And last year, I'll show you what I bought from them. I got one of their tape measures, and I got a pink one because pink is cute and it's clear. And I have a mild fetish for, it's not even an obsession, it's just like, oh, tape measure. Like I buy tape measures. I put tape measures, like these little tape measures, I put in carts. I very rarely use them, but I like having tape measures, and like that they're small. And this is the one I bought last year. So this is Aced It, I think, and it was like the last of a dye lot. And it's like 86 yards. It's super bulky. No, just bulky. And it's U-Pig, and it is so freaking soft. And I was actually looking for this again, but they didn't have it. And they probably thought it was really weird because I poked around the store so many times. I'm like, I just really want to buy another thing from the store. And in a different size, I saw this colorway. And I was like, oh, that looks like it would blend. But I think I saw it in like the fingering, or possibly DK. Like, oh, I wonder. So I went back to the chunky, and yes, they had it. And I held it up to a skein of this of the Aced It in another weight, and it matched. And so those are awesome together. So what I'm planning on doing, I'll probably have a little bit of leftover, is making myself a beanie. And I can't remember, I think I got this pom-pom from Northwood Fibers last year. I realize the purple doesn't quite match, but it's just too, I think it will be fabulous with these two yarns. And so what I'm planning on doing is knitting kind of the body of the beanie. I want it to have the turned up brim. So the body of the beanie is going to be this one, which I think I'll get most of it out of. And even if I have to go into this a little bit, it's fine. And then have the brim, the turned up brim be this. So so look, very planned project. Yeah, in the making. But that's going to be a winter project. And as I said, a lot to work up in between. But there we go. Actual project for that one. What else? So then I went to Black Cat Fibers. I did actually start having a mooch around pretty much everything, and did really well not to buy anything on my first pass. I just had an idea where to go. Probably walked around them at least 4 times, all the different areas. And I didn't actually have a project in mind for Black Cat Fibers, but I do have basically a whole crochet thing of different projects that I am looking at. And they have so many amazing colors. Get on their website. Like, the blends, there's definitely a Halloween theme to a lot of them, or horror movies, and they're just so cool, so bright, so vivid. And I strayed away a little bit from my purple, in fact, to a colour that you wouldn't normally see me go for. Yes, actually neon pink. We're back. I was charging my phone as I talked, but I stupidly forgot to, well, I didn't forget. I did plug it in, didn't realise the charger had fallen out. So now we've got a bit of editing. I forgot with my Onk fibres, by the way. The reason I showed you the pink tape measure is because I bought one of their purple ones this year. Because these are $4, by the way. They're doing all rainbow colours. They're great little tape measures. So if you go to their website and find some yarn you like, buy a tape measure too. It comes in all the colours. I need a black one next. So yeah, that's on the agenda for next year if I don't get one before now. And maybe that's just going to have to be a Yarncon staple, tape measures. So yes, we were talking about black cap fibers, and I really wanted to get some yarn from them last year, but I already spent enough money, and they had so many, and I just was desperate, but I already doubled my budget. So yes, bright pink. And this was the first one I was drawn to, and I have no idea why. It is purely just a bright neon pink. And this is actually called Pink and Easy. It's in the Serendipity sock, merino wool and nylon. Pretty much everything I got this time was merino wool and nylon. Oh, I didn't tell you what the U-Pig was, did I? I think this is, yeah, this is all superwash merino, by the way, the U-Pig. So this is a Nomad sock. So I saw this one. But next to it, getting a bit back to normal. Yeah, we got some nice purple going through that one. So these two kind of blend into each other. This is called Dark Star. Gorgeous. And then feeling a bit back to normal, we're going into the Truly Outrageous. Aren't these beautiful together? So what I've got planned for these is kind of like, have you seen the kind of like wrappy sweater scarf things? So it's basically 2 sleeves and like a scarf length. And so you put one in, you wrap it around, put the other sleeve on, you can wear it either way. So this pattern from Expression Fiber Arts is what I am planning to make in this. Again, I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I'm going to have to do a whole video on how I organize all of these projects because my yarn hoard is getting bad. But it's actually kind of a project hoard because a lot of my projects are, or a lot of my yarns are intended for a project. It's just getting to that project that I need to get around to. But yeah, we had a good chat and had a good laugh about how I only wear black, and yet I'm buying all these beautiful yarns to do things with. But I'm really excited about my sweater scarf, which hopefully I'll have by the autumn. I'm actually going on a trip to the UK, and I think this will be amazing for it. Don't think it's going to happen by then, but hope springs eternal, right? What else? So again, another stall I just kept mooching around and around. Supernova. They were my first purchase last year. They had the most beautiful skein of yarn. There's only one left, and I broke my rule about doing some circuits before buying anything. I was so drawn to this yarn that I bought that one skein. I don't know if I will ever make anything out of it. In fact, actually, I'm going to get it out. Bear with me. It's this one. Isn't it gorgeous? It has the pinks, it has the purples. It's sparkly. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do with this yarn. It is super soft too. This one's 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's called Never Let 'Em Know Your Next Move. It's so beautiful. Anyway, that was last year's. They had a whole section of neon blacklight yarns. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And I kept looking through everything, and I was just determined to get some yarn from them. And I wish I had a black light to show you this under. I may get it, but these are both the same color. It is Pink Pony Club, and these were so gorgeous under the black light. I love those pinks and lilacs, the neon orange, little speckle bits of blue and green. It is gorgeous. So these ones are 100% superwash merino. A little bit of turquoise through there. Just the colors are fabulous. So I bought 2 of these, not with very little idea what I'm going to do, but I actually have some patterns for this really cool kind of, well, like a fishnet, like big fishnet cowl sweater thing. The cowl you can wear as a hood, but otherwise it hangs and it looks really awesome. So that's what I'm kind of picturing for this one. And I'm so in love with this color. I kind of want to make everything out of it. But I'm so glad I bought it. It makes me happy. So there is half a plan for this. And then I bought 2 random skeins. So the first one from Bar Yarns, Brenda and Heather, who are fabulous to meet. And check this out. Check that sparkle. So I thought this was completely deliberate. I thought, wow, that sparkle in that color, that is genius. And they had all these rainbow yarns. Gosh, I wish I bought them now. I don't know what I was going to do with them. But I was really drawn to this gray with this green sparkle through it. I just thought it was so pretty. And it's actually called Silver Gray. And one of them came up to talk to me, and I told her I was just so drawn to the yarn. And apparently the green was an accident. They bought all the yarn, they dyed it, and that's when they realized the underbase of it was green. And it's not, it's kind of like that green glitter that's almost a white, but it has like a slight aurora borealis too, but just on the green end of the spectrum. So you can see other colors through it, and it is just so cute. Again, not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I was just so drawn to it. I actually had pretty much left the building and then realized I really wanted one of these. So I actually deliberately, it's when I last purchased it, deliberately went back to buy it. So that one is gorgeous. And lastly, I had to get something from this company, Babble and Stitch, just because I was so drawn to them. They had a tiny stall, they're brand new dyers. It's the first time at Yarncon. And I was like, I'm going to get something from them. I'm so glad I did. So this is it. How fabulous is this? They had so many yarns I could have happily bought, and I was deciding between a few of them, but this one just had, I mean, it's very much of the day, isn't it? Like everything I bought was purple. So it has like some orange through it, some black, lots of purples, pinks. It's super, super loud. And this one has a bit of a gold stellina through it. And this is a really fine stellina though. Just the slightest little sparkle. Like other ones you can see kind of the wrap in it. This one is just really, really fine little sparkles that catch the light. So super, super gorgeous. So 75, 25, 5 is the sparkle, 75 merino, nylon, which is crazy. Like everything I bought was that mix. So the last ones I bought are already caked up, and I actually caked them up as soon as I came home that night. I couldn't wait to do a video. I was super excited. So this was for a scarf for my mom. I'm going to post the pattern here. I don't know how these yarns are actually going to fully work for it, but so far it's looking good. So I will show you the 3 yarns. Sorry, one is on a project. So these are from Northwood Fibers, and last year I was desperate to buy some yarn from them, but I had spent money, or a lot of money already, didn't really have anything in mind, and these are the 3 yarns caked up. I'll post that picture again and try and do like a zoom in of the 3 yarns before. What are these called? Those Summer Nights, Jellyfish, and I've got the tag somewhere. Something about jellyfish, and then this was kind of jellyfish something. Anyway, aren't these gorgeous together? So that shell scarf, I'm gonna fade this one into this, and then this one into this to complete the scarf. And so I'm gonna have to sort of creatively kind of mix these through the shells. I'll show you how far I've got. It is not far. This is quite a hard pattern. Just because you've got to concentrate and actually count. Is that the right side? I'm sure on the right side. That's the right side. So far, isn't it beautiful? You can see how tonal this purple is. I'll just put the other two. I'll show you the other two. How many colors are going through there? They are super gorgeous. And I think they'll blend really nicely if I do. It's like a little kind of cross them over just a little bit in the pattern, like work with the 2 yarns for like maybe one of the shell rows, possibly 2, and just kind of blend them that way. But yeah, you can see how tonal this purple jellyfish is. The lighter kind of pinky purple, the darker purple. The yarn is a dream to work with. It doesn't split at all. It's really soft. This is also, I believe, when I find the card that I just dropped, 75 merino, 25% nylon. Order of the day. Unless it's got stellina and then it's got 5% stellina. Just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, last year I think I bought a pom-pom and some stickers from them just because I really, well, the pom-pom's really cute, but I just really wanted to support them, and I bought a few stickers this year as well because they make cool stickers. But I am so glad I got that yarn, and they have just like the most vibrant, like turquoises, yellows, pinks. But I was really, these were the colors I saw on their website, and like, these are the ones I'm getting. I think this is going to make an amazing scarf. Obviously fingering weight, it's super lightweight, so it's more of a summery scarf. Something that my mom will hopefully like. She's not normally into such bright colors, but she does love purple as well. I know I'm turning into her. And I think possibly because I made it, and I think it's gonna look really cool. And if she doesn't like it, I will keep it because a lot of work is going to go into this. So that is my Yarncon haul. I'm just going to hold it up, my little purple, mostly purple stash here. So yeah, that's a lot of yarn. How much did I spend? Around about the $400 mark. I haven't actually fully totaled this up, but around about $400, which is pretty much what I budgeted. Was hoping to keep it more to 300, but 400 was within the budget. I didn't want to go to 5, which I didn't do, so I was a bit more controlled this year. But overall, I had a great day. It's once a year. I plan for it better. Maybe what I'll do this year is start the Yarncon fund, and any kind of like spare little bits of cash or whatever, I'll start channeling into an account so I can buy even more next year. And hopefully I can blast through enough of these to make a new project. If you're not in Chicago, look up your local yarn fairs. Like Yarncon, there's a ton of events around the country. I wish I could get to more of them, although seeing the damage I've done at this one, it's probably better I don't. Like, they're very, very friendly. It is great to go and just see the yarn, maybe treat yourself to a skein or 2, especially if you want to use some nicer yarns. What I will say about using some of these nice hand-dyed ones is, as you're getting a little bit more confidence, these are less splitty than some of the cheaper ones. So I actually find them easier to crochet with for the most part, which is one of the nice things about getting hand dyes. And you're also supporting small and local producers. but also they're just great fun. There's a lot of knitwear on display. Just what, and actually just watching the people who go to these things, like all walking around with their beautiful sweaters and everything. I'm not quite at that stage yet. I was actually nervous to wear my new scarf, so I didn't in the end. And I wish I had, because I am actually fairly proud of it. It's got a couple of mistakes. That's another video. But yeah, if you aren't in Chicago, look up your local yarn fairs. If you are in Chicago, go onto the Yarncon website so you get alerted for the dates for next year. It's usually quite last minute, they tell you. So like with like a month to 5 weeks, they'll give you the date and then let you know about like vendors and everything. It's the last 2 years I've been, it's been at Plumbers Hall, which is in the West Loop, if you know Chicago. Really good transport links. I actually found out it takes 10 minutes on the bus from my house, which is even better. I mean, I can drive, but like, why bother when it's $2.25? That's cheaper than parking, and the bus stops really close. Yeah, so great transport links probably. And yeah, what else is there to say about it? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you managed to get to the end. If you liked kind of what I'm talking about yarns from a beginner perspective, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and let's kind of learn together. And I appreciate any comments or any suggestions about things you want me to do a video on. Have a great week.